Crack open a cold one, kick back, and enjoy a week's worth of conversation from pop culture, sports, breaking news, and everything in between. Welcome to the Pine Room Podcast. At the beginning of the podcast each week, everyone on the show rolls a 20-sided die. The person who rolls the lowest number then becomes the moderator for that week's show, and it's their job to move the conversation along and switch from various topics or questions that can be found on the moderator's cheat sheet, or custom ones they've brought in themselves. If you have a question or a topic you'd like us to discuss, send us an email to contact@thepineroompodcast.com. Well, that's enough of that. Let's get into the show. You're listening to the Pine Room Podcast. All right, hello everyone. Welcome into the Pine Room Podcast, episode 131. Here in the Pine Room Studios with Coach Chris, myself, and Jarrett. Here in the studios for another show at 131. If you're watching this, we're at a different angle today. We're short on a camera, but, you know, we'll do what we do with them. And we're hoping to order some new ones soon, so we might be getting some new quality stuff here coming out of the Pine Room. We got a long radio show today. Had some good stuff in, thanks to Kelsey Russo, who I don't know how she continues to stay positive with the Browns. They've lost 5 in a row. And then we talked to Chip Callisy and Todd Morrison of Omni Strategic. If you don't know anything about cybersecurity, it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I believe that's what it is. But you got to check out cybersecurity and Omni Strategic. Go to omnistrategic.com and you can check out all the tips and stuff they have for the everyday individual when it comes to making sure you don't get got when it comes to scams, because everybody in here, including everybody probably listening to this, has been at the other end of some kind of attempted scam.
That's what and Matt asked the question on the show. Have you ever been close to being scammed? Well, you might, because you do all that. You've watched illegal websites.
Oh, great. Yeah, let everybody know. No, I don't download anything illegal. I don't download movies illegally. I just watch them on streaming sites that people think that they're all bad. They probably are, but no,
I'd be too scared to do that on my computer. Do you do it on your nice computer?
Yeah. It doesn't.
Well, I guess
you can't,
because you're not downloading it.
Unless you download something that doesn't. You can't. You're fine. But you both were pretty enamored with the cybersecurity talk.
Oh, I think it's so interesting and so pertinent, and like Jarrett said, with the knowledge that those guys have. In helping businesses and all the tips and whatever information they can pass on to businesses, and even guys like Coach and I.
Yeah.
That, you know, I mean, I've gotten better, but there's still so many. And I just wonder, like when Mark, and it was a great question asking about like how many billions that people are scammed out of, and I just wonder, like, and a lot of them, you know, is always targeted. Toward elderly people too,
yeah.
and how they always fall for that. And do you think it's just because they're just genuinely they're trustworthy, and they think, you know, because I mean I've even seen, you know, Consumer Reports before on the news. Well, so and so showed up as a UPS guy or whatever, and then they end up getting bilked out of, you know, $5,000-$10,000. It just seems so easy.
Yeah,
it must be easy targets, but I don't know. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's just the stuff I've seen and the way that they're able to get into people's stuff is insane. And for people to be sad enough, like older folks that believe that, and there are sometimes when you ever heard of like the deposed son of the son of the deposed king of like Nigeria, and he needs money to either get to the U.S. or needs money for something, and he'll strike up a conversation with somebody, and then, you know, you might, some old couple or an old person will send him thousands of dollars, and they'll just keep draining him full of money. And there was one actually documentary, I can't remember what it was, but there was a guy who caught a scammer, and the scammer wanted him to buy the guy a camera. The scammer wanted the guy to buy him a camera and send that camera to a certain location for something. I can't remember what it was for exactly. And the scammer somehow was saying that he would send him pictures for like a photo, some kind of photo program, so that a company could have access to photos of something. But he needed the camera. So this scammer, and I could be getting the story wrong, the guy who was getting scammed bought this scammer a camera or something along the lines where he actually gave into the scam without giving away information. And the scammer actually followed up on what he was promised to do, and the guy actually built a really good relationship with this scammer, and all the scammer was trying to do was just make money for like his village or his kids or something. But they're probably what is bad about that is these probably people need money or something, so the first thing they probably think is let's go steal it, which to me is like I would rather just go, I'd give you like a bomb and then you can do what you want with that, and then yeah
exactly.
But
I don't know, Job.
Well, I tell you, you guys want to see a good movie? No, well, I got to. Unbelievable! I got to sneeze.
Right when he started to talk.
Incredible. I felt it coming on too. You guys want to watch a really good movie, right, based on scams, and is just perfect timing. You guys heard a movie with Jason Statham called The Beekeeper?
No, I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
Watch that movie. Chris, if you don't have anything to do, watch The Beekeeper. It's about Jason's. Oh, I got to sneeze again. This is incredible. This is unbelievable.
Hey, I had this yesterday.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
It was
If
terrible.
you got another one, I was going to say there's the common phrases used in phone scams. Can you hear me?
Right. And Timo said
if
that.
people would fall for these two, withdraw money from your accounts and go to a Bitcoin ATM.
Yeah.
And then buy gift cards to send money.
Anyway, because I want to follow up on that, but it's a good movie. This kind-hearted landlady, his landlady, she's a real nice lady. She gets fished into this scam and loses everything, millions of dollars, and then he goes on a revenge streak.
I like that.
Going after the people that scammed him. It's a great.
You love revenge.
Oh, it's a great. Hey, you know where I got that? His mother.
You love
his mother. His mother was a revenge
God,
movie.
Tim loved revenge too.
Well,
Like,
but Tim liked the other weird movie. Tim was a weird movie guy. Like,
the greatest. Okay.
Well, yeah, but his mother loved any revenge movie that there was, and she would absolutely love it. But anyway, watch The Beekeeper. But Jarrett, I was gonna go on to what you were saying about I see how I could see how I could get scammed. I think I could. But some people are just so stupid. And you send money because somebody's in jail or I need money to come. You have to be just so out of touch to fall for that.
I don't think, and I knock on wood, I don't think I could ever get scammed. I don't. I don't think.
Knock
that,
on wood, Jarrett.
I know. I'm just saying that I don't think that. Okay, maybe not. I'm saying over the phone.
That is
over the phone.
I know what you're.
No goddamn way.
I agree.
That's like
you're saying that people could get your info, but you're not going to fall.
I'm not falling. No,
you're not going to be. You're not going to be.
Well, it's like that thing that Chris and I got from that wrong number, and then the lady eventually said, "It's so nice to meet such a gentlemanly guy like you." So then she wants me to continue the conversation. But as soon as she said that to me, boom, a red flag went up to me.
Same with me, Coach.
A red, if she would have said, "Oh, well, geez, thank you for understanding." I don't know how she could have. I don't think I would have ever fallen for. Well, hey, I'd love to. I live in Ukraine, and I'd love to come and meet you in the United States, but I don't have a way to. You have to be like very desperate or something to fall for that.
Well, I think for you too, you get phone calls all the time. I don't get that many calls from anybody, and the one that I always get the guy goes, "Hello," and then he'll pause, then it'll be, "Hello, this is the police."
Oh, that's that guy. That same voice.
Yeah,
that
and
same
it's always
voice.
From. It's somewhere in West Virginia. I forget.
Yeah,
I forget what town it is.
State police is.
Yeah,
usually
this is the police. Like, if you fall for that, you're an idiot.
And
you're a moron.
You should never ever. I mean, in today's world, never let your guard down. And if it seems fishy, then maybe it is. And Mark, when you talk about that too, about when so and so needs money or something happened to just say like cousin Timmy Delbrook. Like, why would we ever get a call that somebody,
right,
we need to get him out of a bad situation?
Right. Wouldn't he call or have someone.
Or even you would say, well, I better call his next of kin, call Rob,
Right.
call his father, call his sisters or something. You just don't like, okay, sure. Well, what do you need from me?
Yeah, that'd be like somebody calling me about you. Like that.
Right.
I wouldn't be your first contact for anything. I would
Right.
not be your first contact for if you got arrested in Ohio on false charges and you need to get out. Oh, call me.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
Chris, and I know you're a YouTube guy. If you ever are bored and want to watch something, look up scammers getting scammed. There's this guy, and I think his name is Kit Boga, I think is his name.
Oh, is he the guy that acts like the old lady?
And so apparently this is like the most famous one that I've seen. So he does it back to the scammer. He pretends that he's an old lady, changes his voice. And I guess this was after 10 hours of being on the phone with this scammer.
Because these people if they're a scammer and they think they got you on the hook,
That's what Timo said.
they'll dedicate the whole day to try to get $1,000 out of you, and videos are great.
So I guess this was after 10 hours of this guy trying to get this dude to get money from this guy. So I guess it was through a way of redeeming this gift card. And somehow, I don't know how he did it back to the guy.
So what happens is the scammer says they need, let's say, $750, but they can't take the money in. You can't do. They don't. They disguise it because it would be too obvious if you just gave the person $750. So what they do is, and it might be something with that where they live, but they make you buy like a Target gift card for $50, an Amazon gift card for $50, and then you build up. You get like, I don't know, like 40 of those. Then they'll take the key that you punch in, and they'll take the key and the security for the gift card. They'll put it on their account, and then they'll take that money to either buy something for the website, or they'll claim it as they didn't mean to put that money on, and they'll get refunded that money. So then they have it. So what they don't need you to do, they don't want you to redeem that gift card. Right. They need the information so that they can redeem the gift card. And
yeah, he was acting like this dumb old woman that didn't know how to do it. So if I can get this to play.
I'm literally shouting right now, ma'am. Yeah, you don't need to shout. Take a breath. Hey, Abel, I have I don't know if you heard me before. I have one of the codes.
So that's the guy playing his old lady.
Okay.
This is a $500 code. Okay. Please wait. So please wait now. I think I can get the. No. Oh, wait. Ma'am, no. You don't have to do that. Ma'am, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
Wait, is that the scammer?
Yeah.
Why did you redeem it?
What's he?
Why did you do it?
So he's saying, why did you redeem it? So he spent 10 hours.
Hello? You did not have to redeem this. You did not have
Wait,
to
what
redeem
did she do?
All right, so he spent 10 hours trying to convince this old lady to go to Target, get a $500 gift card or wherever the store was. Convince him to get, or convince who he thought was an old lady to get this $600 gift card. So what they need you to do is give them the code and then the security code to redeem the card. They don't want you to redeem it, because if you redeem it, it just goes right to your stuff. It goes right to your Amazon account or whatever account it is. Mm-hmm. They need to have the code so that they can redeem it and they can take the money. So if I redeem the code, I just get the money.
What
that
do you
I
mean
already,
by redeem the
like
code?
if you have a gift card, if somebody gives you a gift card to Amazon, you scratch the back off and it has a code on the back that you type into your account, and then it puts the money into your Amazon account.
Right.
So you have like $50 of a gift card code. If I redeem that, it just goes to my account, but they need that number so that they can redeem it and take that money.
Oh.
So she read the code off, and instead of just giving him the code, she read the code off and just redeemed it herself. So she just got the money. But all he wanted was her to do was give her the code. So every time that he would ask her for the code, she would just give him the code and immediately redeem it instead of letting him take it and redeem it.
What do you mean by redeem it? How did she redeem it?
She just typed the code into her account and it just gave her the money. It just gave.
But how did he know she was putting it in her?
Because they take control of your computer and they can see what you're doing on
that's
your
what Todd
computer,
was saying.
and
Yeah.
they can take control of your computer and see what you're doing. So that
but
they,
he let him take control of his computer.
Yeah, but he probably has some sort of security
Spyware,
system,
spy.
something to make sure that
he's
nothing can do
this
it.
guy's a genius.
So
He's a
all
genius.
and that guy stayed on him for 10
For
hours.
10 hours.
Find you
Do not redeem.
Do not redeem.
Yeah, I
See
was
if you
trying
can
to-
find
Yeah,
that
but
one.
then what? Then once that, so then he redeemed it, and then this guy was flipping out.
flipping out because she just took the money. She took so long to put her money on a gift card, then she just took the money, put it right back into her
and
account.
he was hoping that $500 would
go to
into-
him.
Yeah, and this is another famous one.
But how desperate?
Yes, I'm redeeming the card. I'm redeeming the card. Okay?
So that the old lady on there is actually a guy, and he's just pretending that he's saying redeem the
Oh,
card.
that's awesome.
It's really, really good.
Does he say at the end then? Sorry, dickhead. This was, or does he just?
I think either I think the scammer normally hangs up on them because they're so mad, but those people, it's unbelievable how crazy they go.
Well, that's like, how much is it worth? I mean,
like
that
they're
guy's-
mad.
that
They're
guy's-
mad at the guy.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
mad at him for not giving them
Yeah.
$500.
They
Yeah.
kind of turn the tables on.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, and
but,
I think
they're screaming like that. They're frantic. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Because they give up the act in the end. The whole time they're very nice, very cordial. You know, you're doing the right thing. There's one video I watched where the scammer convinces, not really, but convinces her to drive to a store to get the cards and stays on the phone with her the whole time. And then the guy
But
that's
this guy is not really an old lady.
No, he's just sitting at his desk.
So he goes and gets the
Some
cards.
gift cards.
the gift cards and that stays on the phone with the scammer the whole time acting like, and he puts on like background noise to sound like he's in the car and then to sound like he's in the store, and he'll pretend he's talking to the cashier like
So he's not really going to the store.
no, he just stays behind his desk the whole time.
Oh,
He just
okay,
stays
okay.
at his house the whole time. But he puts this whole act on to make it seem like he's going to the store, checking out, talking to people, coming back to the car, getting to the house. And this takes hours and hours and hours. And then when he finally gets back, she just takes that card and puts that money right back into her account.
And what's the guy?
just nuts?
But
just,
the scammer is expecting what? So he goes and buys, just say, $500 worth of gift cards.
so
Then the scammer wants the codes off of those.
yes, because then he can redeem those cards and get the money for himself.
Yes.
And can either buy stuff or can either refund the money to his own.
And how does he sell it to the scamee? I mean, what if the person doesn't? I mean, what do they think they're getting out of it?
So they're saying either they need help or to fix something. Maybe they owe money somewhere. But which is really dumb, where you should lose people, is the only way that this person can get the money that they're asking for is through Amazon gift cards.
Yeah, right.
So you should.
Oh, okay.
Your red flag should go
I don't
up.
think they're very bright.
But there are
most of
people.
them.
But
I-
there are people that do that, and they think that they're doing the right thing, and then they get blasted.
Are they all like Indian guys?
They're all normally foreigners.
Yeah, I
foreigners.
think I mean they have like entire like scam call centers
all-
over there.
yeah,
That's like their full time job.
Well, that's why you got to watch Beekeeper, because the lady that gets scammed, the guy on the other end, it's a whole there must have been 50 people at cubicles.
Yeah.
And this guy would stand up in front of them every morning before they start and say, this is what we're going to do. This is the amount of money we want to try to get from people. And then let's go. And then everybody just starts blowing it out.
Yeah,
terrible.
and then
You got to watch it, Chris. You'll love it.
there's one guy who is
Statham beats the shit out of
There's
him.
one guy who's really, really, really savvy with this stuff, and he can actually learn. He because those scammers, they'll sound like they're from India, but her name is like Janice or something like that. But this guy who scams the scammers or can find information on them finds out their real name, and he'll just drop it in a sentence like "thank you," whatever, and it'll be the real name. And he found how to hack into their cameras, and that you can get a live reaction from them or him revealing their real name, and it's really satisfying to watch. Like they'll start crying on camera, and yeah.
I wanted to ask Timo, but after several questions and Booker called, I want to ask him, like, I want to order more brownies at Brownie House, but I always use PayPal, but I don't want to continue to use PayPal because I don't want to hit that like way up. I'd rather use my debit card, but that's probably not a good thing to do either, is it?
Well, no,
or
I mean
is
it
it
depends.
safe at Brownie House?
Well, yeah, if you know the website, if it's
Yeah.
a legitimate website, then that's fine to use. The only reason you use a middleman app like PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App is just because it's easy to transfer money from one person to the other. Or you have the added security that if somebody would get your PayPal account, as long as you don't have money in your PayPal account,
Right.
you can't go any further with it. You need authentication to get into your bank account and stuff, which I'm sure people can probably still do. But
What was he? What do you know when Timo said something about? What was it? Password manager.
yeah, you can.
What is that?
So on Google, I believe it's built into Google Chrome. If you use Chrome as your browser, it's a password manager where it basically catalogs every password you have for every website. So you can go in and just automatically change stuff. So you don't have to go back into all of your stuff to edit your passwords. On your phone, it also has a password manager where, like, Apple will generate a password for you. If you make a new account with, say, like Reebok, you make an account with Reebok, it will generate a password for you, which is like a bunch of letters broken up by hyphens that you would never remember it.
Right.
It would even you wouldn't remember it, but it would add it to your phone so that whenever you log into Reebok, it's already in your password manager and it just fills right in, and then that'll keep changing.
Do you do
over
that?
time. I never do that.
I never do it either because
What just
it
flew
scares
down by
me.
your back?
Huh?
Something just flew down right behind his back.
There was a stink bug flying around here. Oh, he's on your shoulder.
Get him off me. Get him off.
Oh.
No, he's gonna flick him toward me.
Hold on, wait.
Get him off. Get him off. Jared, get him off.
He's over there.
Hey, and
I hate those things.
hey, and guess what's next?
Cicadas?
Lantern flies.
Yeah, but those
And
don't.
they already said they're here.
Yeah,
Are
they
they-
are. There was one in the Pine Room.
So they're a massive problem in Pittsburgh.
And
Huge
they are
problem.
going to be a massive problem here. And they said you can't get rid of them.
You have to kill them.
And there are no predators right now that
Yes,
eat them.
They are
Free reign,
You literally at PNC Park, the entire concourse was just
And
filled.
they say they're gross. And
They're disgusting.
They
They
leave
just fly-
slimy stuff all over the place.
They just follow you. They just land right on you. They're like those. They're like stink bugs.
Oh,
they're
geez.
stupid.
How long do we have to deal
They're
with
the
them?
dumbest
they
bastards.
said for like a long time until I forget what
Probably
happens.
until a predator supersedes
there
them.
has to be a predator.
They're invasive. They kill crops. They kill plants.
Yeah, there's this one certain tree they like, but I can't.
It's the
So
tree of
spotted
heaven.
lanternfly is an invasive plant hopper that feeds on the sap of many plants, including grapevines, maples, and black walnut. It's, of
Walnut,
course,
yeah.
native to China, India, and Vietnam, but it's spread to other countries, including the United States. The SLF can damage the spotted lanternfly, can damage plants, which can lead to a decreased health and sometimes death of the plant. It can impact agriculture and tourism industries.
Yeah, you're supposed to. When you see them, you're supposed to kill them.
Yeah, but what's the one tree they? Really
It's
like?
called the tree of heaven. It's a walnut. It's like a walnut tree.
Oh, geez.
They got like I don't even know how to describe the leaves.
They look like kind of furnished.
Yeah, they almost looks like a fern.
But are they going to die the colder it gets?
Hopefully.
No, yeah, but they said they'll be back. They said they'd come back, and they like each one of them lays like 25 eggs.
It's
or
amazing
something.
how many there
They
are.
multiply like crazy.
It's
Bugs are
unbelievable.
stupid.
They said it'll be worse than locust.
All right, speaking of this, have you ever seen what's that thing behind door? Oh, it was an old show, and I think in the UK it was like you put something behind door. I can't think of it real quick, but talk about something while I try to find it.
Is it a game show?
Yeah. What?
And what comes out? How many doors are there?
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
It was an American game show?
I'm trying to find it. Hold on.
I think I remember what was that with Monty Hall?
Well, that's make a deal. Let's make a deal. But that's not.
What about Lingo?
Well, that's no door.
That was a great show, though. Lingo was a great show. What was your favorite game show?
Lingo's pretty good. Lingo was really good.
Deal or No Deal was really good, too.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. Howie Mandel, he was good.
Yeah, that was good.
I got it. So there's a game show called Room 102, or it was maybe a segment on some talk show, Room 102. And Room 102 is things you put in Room 102 that would just be deleted from the world. So, for instance, a guy wanted to put noisy eaters in Room 102. And Room 102 means that they're gone from the world. So I was going to ask, because we're talking about bugs, and I think stink bugs might be up there for me, what you would put in Room 102.
What was the point of the game, though? What
It was just like a feature where they would bring a person on just to look and decide like what really makes them mad or what they don't like and stuff like
so
that.
it's like a pet peeve that you have.
Yeah, you put it in Room 102.
But is it noisy eaters? And then is this like what's the one movie, the game where they kill people?
Squid Game?
Squid Games. I like Squid. Like if you say noisy eater, if if there's a noisy eater beside you, does he get wiped out? Does he get killed?
I'm gonna see the stipulations of Room 102 here.
I've never even heard of that.
I haven't either. That's got to be a Japanese.
Yeah, that's got to be some.
That's got to be
MXC.
Well, there'd be multiple things we would want to put in Room 102.
You could just go on and on.
People
Matt would have a long list.
Oh boy, people that tailgate
Yes.
when you're driving. Oh man, I get mad.
Or I just get rid of
I'm getting a call
traffic.
from St. Clairsville, Ohio right now. You think it's a scam?
Answer
Yeah, see if it is, and we'll give them. Yeah, from St. Clairsville, Ohio.
Hello?
Hi, may I speak to Jarrett, please?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Can I speak to Jarrett, please? This is Lynn from the health plan.
Sorry, I'll call you back. 1 second.
that was actually real.
That was a real call.
Yeah.
That was
I don't know
legit.
why.
Unbelievable.
Okay. All right.
That's hilarious.
All right. So let me get some more stipulations on Room 102. So Room 102, it's basically like a place where you put things that you would delete. It's basically like I don't know, like a hype. What's that called? What's that called? Not a superlative.
A hypothetical?
Hypothetical. Like, what would you put in Room 102? One guy wanted to put slugs in Room 102. But then there was an argument if you put slugs in Room 102, then it would disrupt the food chain of, like, insects. So then...
Wonder what predators eat stink bugs?
None.
I don't think.
Well, no wonder.
I think that's why they're still around.
Those things are so gross. If you touch them, and that smell is just
It's horrible. It makes me want to puke.
yeah, it's
They're the worst.
I
horrible
don't.
smell.
I don't.
That smell, Chris, you don't like that. I mean, it's
I've
not.
never smelled it.
You've never smelled a
never
stink
smelled
bug?
I honestly.
Oh, God.
Well, you must have never touched one because once you touch them, it's on.
Well,
you.
you know, this is because I was always petrified. I'm just like with Job there. Get it off my shoulder. I'd be the same. But was that last year or two football seasons ago when we went up to Kayleen's house, watched football that day, and they were everywhere. And Kayleen's just picking them up with her fingers, just throwing them everywhere. I'm like, well, if
There's
she
nothing
can
to
do
be
it,
afraid of.
No, there's not. But
I
they're-
just-
they're- do they serve a purpose?
No,
I think they're
None.
zero.
And they appear out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden you're sitting there and it just them. Do you hear the noise they make when they fly? It's absolutely incredible the noise they make.
Have you ever had one land on you while you're sleeping?
The worst.
Oh, that's old.
Chris,
That's bad.
I remember Aunt Meemaw, Aunt Sue, I remember her telling me back, it was years and years ago when stink bugs kind of first they like boomed and they were everywhere. I remember her telling me that she was in bed and one landed on her forehead.
Oh, God.
And ever since then,
Oh,
as soon as I hear
Jesus.
him in my room, I get him and I throw him away because I don't want that to happen. And it's the most terrifying thing when you're laying in bed and you just hear
That or have you guys ever had a mosquito go by your ear? You ever had one by your ear? Oh, man. A mosquito, no, you don't want him around because you know he's going to bite you.
Yeah.
We had a gnat problem up at the house over the summer. I would just have one in my room. And no matter how many times I killed it, there would always be one gnat in the room, and I could not figure out where they were coming from. I'm like, how the fuck these keep getting in here?
They're attracted to trash,
and that's what happened. We had another trash can in the garage with a trash bag in it. Literally since we moved in, it was absolutely disgusting. There were a million gnats in there. I had no idea it was in there, and that's where they came from. Once I threw it away, they were gone. And then yesterday, I had two. I left my windows open because it was hot. I had two massive wasps in my room, and they were all the way up at the top of the ceiling, where I had to get a broom and hit them. And I hit the one, and he went away. I didn't know where he went. I couldn't find him for like 10 minutes, and I'm just sitting there like I couldn't. I had my dinner too. I couldn't eat. I was waiting till it appered
because you know you didn't kill it.
No, I just
pissed him off.
And he was hiding behind a pillow waiting on
but I did
attack.
I did kill it. I killed one of them and let the other one go.
Hannah in her house, she had a gnat problem, and they were everywhere in her house. Like if you walked in her house, they were on the wall, on lamps, like flying around the room. And I told her there has to be something here, because she'd take garbage out, get rid of the garbage. We got rid of the garbage cans in front of her house, got rid of everything, and they were still here. And I thought something is either dead underneath the house and we can't get to it. She had this tote, which was huge. It's one of those long totes for outside that you put like pool equipment and stuff in. And I said, "What's in that tote?" And she said, "Just a bunch of garbage." And I said, "Well, what do you mean a bunch of garbage?" And she said, "Well, we just put all the garbage there, and then we'll take it up to the dumpster because the dumpster's not here yet." I opened that thing. I'm not kidding you. It was the most insects I've ever seen, ever. Like, gnats covered the entire surface.
You
of
throw the
everything.
whole tote away?
I put it in the truck and threw the whole thing away. And when I threw it into the garbage, it looked like a smoke cloud went like poof up into the air.
Really?
And there were gnats everywhere. It was so disgusting.
What a stupid animal too.
How long would she say that was sitting there?
Oh man, at least a couple months. In the hot summer, it was in the summertime. But anyway, to room 102, it's stuff that you would banish from the world. What would you put in room 102 if you had to banish something from the world?
Well, insects would be one.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I have no use for any of them.
Yeah, but you can't.
Yeah, but what happens what about the birds then?
Yeah, you got to have insects.
Well, then what? Then
the birds? So we have to kind of know.
You got to think about it.
Yeah,
you got to think about it.
Circle of life.
Because like if you wanted to put in, I don't know. Let's say if you
want to put in bees, then
you'd be dead.
I just put lantern flies in there because
Right.
no predator
or stink bugs.
That'd be a good one. Mine would probably be stink bugs. Stink bugs would probably be in my room 102 because I literally I don't think they have a benefit because nothing eats them. Evie likes to bite them, but I don't think anything actually eats them.
It's entertainment for her.
She puts her paw like real easy on it.
She's scared of it.
One toenail on it. On the yellow jackets, she'll just put one toenail on it. But if the yellow jacket moves, she jumps.
Terrified.
She's so brave.
Do dogs get or cats? Do they get affected when they get stung?
Oh yeah.
When they get bad?
Evie got stung on the mouth and her cheek swelled up. She had a swollen face. But because they don't understand any better and they bite them.
Right.
Which is dumb. I'd probably stink bugs would be in my room 102. That or like noisy eaters would be really one that I would consider because that's something that infuriates me beyond all belief.
I mean, what would the trickle down from them be?
Well, I mean, you think about what they do. Maybe a doctor's a noisy eater.
Well, do you find this very annoying? You probably do. And I've been in situations like in a store or something. Actually, one time I was eating lunch by myself. I don't know. I was in Parkersburg. But people that are on their cell phone, but they have it on speaker.
That is the most ridiculous thing ever.
When I was eating my lunch or dinner, the person was sitting in the booth behind me. Well, I could see the person, so they were, I guess, in front of me. And this guy was just by himself, and whoever he was talking to, and it must have been at least 5-10 minutes, and he was talking to this person on speaker, and so we could hear the response. Like,
Where were you eating?
I don't know, maybe like an Olive Garden or something. One of those chain restaurants. Yeah. But why? I don't understand that.
That's very rude.
It's terrible.
Very rude.
I know. I think I've said this multiple times here on this show, but that I actually, and you always hear people talk about if you answer the phone in a movie theater. I actually had it. It happened to be one time when I was watching a movie by myself, and I know the guy, and we all know the guy. I could tell you who it is, but I'll tell you off the. He actually answered his phone during the movie. Talking during the movie. It was unbelievable.
We had a faculty senate meeting at Wheeling Park, and faculty senate, the whole faculty basically is there. 90% of them. So it's 100 people, and then you got the people up in front, the principals or whoever's running the faculty senate, and common sense says you turn your phone off. His phone goes off over. We're always in this certain area like Stubby, Myersy, all of special ed, and all Terry Payne, and over on the other side, like another certain group of guys, the phone goes off, and this guy, I wish I could say his name because it's funny. This guy, literally, his phone rings twice. Hello? Now, I swear to you, because I could get some guys, hello? And like everybody's like, and he says, I'm in a meeting. I'm in a meeting. Yeah, a faculty senate me. Like he didn't go outside. He didn't silence his phone.
To me,
or just talk quietly.
No, it was like hello. I'm in a meeting.
How dumb are
faculty
you?
Right, like why can't you just...
I'll call you back when it's I'll call you.
Did the meeting stop? Like
yeah,
did people
it didn't come to a complete stop, but it was like they continued on, but obviously nobody was paying attention to the person in front because everybody was listening to this guy, and we laughed because the guy has a terrible sense of.
Do I know who this is?
Yeah, you would know.
Does he have a white beard?
No,
I just don't understand. Not being aware enough to
not being aware. Like if you're going to answer, hurry and walk outside, or say, "Hey, I'm on a meeting." Hello? It was unbelievable. I got to get some guys that were there to tell you this story and to make sure that they verify that I'm not lying one bit. Or if your phone goes, if you forget to turn it off, hurry up and answer it, turn it off, and then put it on silent. Don't even say anything. But it's just, I was like, I just shook my head. I said, yeah, he's the kind of guy that didn't surprise me.
And the other thing along those lines is and I've seen this before where now it's only for an hour, but why do people have to take their cell phone into church?
Yeah,
I don't get that. And then a lot of times, they'll forget to turn it off, and then it rings. It doesn't happen off, but I just thought it's just 1 hour. I mean,
if you're going to bring it, at least turn it off.
Well, we did take it into the wedding because the games were going on.
That's different.
Everybody was checking their scores.
That's different.
Yeah, that's different. But anyway,
we had a good wedding over the weekend.
Yeah. And
shout out to Tyler
Riedel. It was a neat wedding.
Getting married, friend of the show, friend of the Pine Room.
Little sort of out of the, like, it's not your typical pull up to the church and you park on Chaplin Street or on Warwood Avenue, or if Jarrett wasn't there, we probably would have been in some serious trouble because this was downtown Pittsburgh.
I know you enjoyed the parking situation, the traffic. I know you liked that a lot.
I thoroughly enjoyed.
So it was downtown, and we pulled up to the valet, and I mean there's like 15, 20 cars backed up waiting to get parked. And the wedding was probably starting at
we had about
20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
And so I was like, I mean, we're either gonna sit here and wait, or we're gonna drive like a couple blocks up and go to the South Park, which was cheaper. And I said, we're not waiting around. So I took us up to the South Park. Of course, we get in to get the ticket and go up 1, 2, 3,
6.
Went all the way up to 6.
6.
The 6th floor. Had to run down the elevator.
And every every potential spot on the way up, some freaking moron has his car, his ass end over, so you can't get another car.
Well, of course,
there.
the parking garage that we went into was under construction, so
Yeah,
about
that was another thing.
half of the spots were. Oh, there's the stink bug. He's a goner. He's up into the. Oh, he just whacked into the.
I just lose my patience with that. I'm just not cut out for that big city rush. I hate it. It stresses me out really bad.
Dessert is an essential part to a quality life, and quality desserts make life all the more better. Had a long day at work and you need something sweet? Maybe you're out late and you need the perfect snack to cap off your evening. Or you're just a dessert lover with a knack for the finest of sweet treats. Well, say hello to the Brownie House, home of the best brownies ever. A family bakery dedicated to baking the world's best.
Well, with that, and also like if you're driving slowly, doesn't have to be a parking garage, but somewhere where it's jam packed, and you think there's a space, and then you get up close and it's a real small car.
Yep.
Or a motorcycle.
Yeah, that it was hidden by the bigger car.
Oh, and you think, there it is. Yeah.
And you get closer, and they look, and
and then we had a couple and said, Jarrett, for electric cars.
Yeah, electric cars.
Yeah, charging station.
There's like 15 spots for electric cars.
Charging
There's
station.
one in there. But
so anyway.
But besides that, it was good. It was a quick ceremony.
18 minutes.
18-minute ceremony.
And then you walk right.
The reception was right
out the door, right next.
Oh, here's a good point. And I asked this question when we were at the cocktail hour, and I actually enjoyed the cocktail, like the finger foods. But the thing that I found that I recognized was I'm watching. Oh boy, the stink bug. He's
really banging up into the light right now.
Come on, find a perch.
I'm about to go hit him with my hat.
Find a perch.
Should I hit him with the hat?
That's how dumb that thing is. It just keeps running into.
He's
stuff.
going to the basketball. Hold on, wait.
Go away!
Yeah,
No.
I love for it. Oh, there he landed.
Yeah.
Where?
Right above me. I'd love to see
I'll
him
get
come
him.
down.
Go ahead and
land
keep
right
talking,
on
Job. I'll get him.
Head. No, let him go.
No,
he's all right now.
But do they smell when you smash them?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
they
He's
let
all
out
right.
like some
Let
kind
him go,
of juice. It's real bad.
Juice.
So this
It is.
added to the podcast today.
Good God.
So what were you going to say? Something about the?
So the finger foods, and I actually enjoyed it, and I never eat like cold stuff, but they had like a pepperoni-ish kind of meat, which I actually enjoyed, and it was pretty good, and there was good cheese, and I actually liked all the cheese, but and I've found this the case in multiple scenarios. The charcuterie boards and the finger foods or whatever, the cocktail foods, whatever they are, they're always like the most
exquisite,
like the most breath inhibiting things, the most foul smelling things ever.
Blue cheese,
and it's a cocktail hour, so you're talking to people. You're it's like a garlic meat pepperoni with a cheddar cheese and some spinach dip. It's always the most foul smelling things. Yeah. They taste great, but I
wouldn't even say they taste great.
I thought they were great. I love that kind of stuff.
I never eat.
But
those.
then you're in 5 feet speaking distance with somebody breathing their hot salami breath on.
So they need a big bowl of mince right next to
exactly.
the
Well,
meat,
I did think it was
charcuterie
funny.
bowl.
I walked into the bathroom and there was a bottle of Scope and a thing of Tic Tacs, and I did both of them. Because I was like, my breath smells like the dumpster
just because of what you're eating.
I had a piece of cheese and it was really not good. I thought it was like Swiss.
I don't like.
I thought it was Swiss or what's another mozzarella, and it was some.
Was it real pungent? What
yes,
was it?
Yeah, it was real.
I really liked it.
Ooh.
It was really, and I'm
see now people that are cheese eaters would love that, but I'm just your common cheese plate guy.
It was very extravagant.
Colby, pepper jack, Swiss,
cheddar,
cheddar, and then with some pepperoni and sausage
and a cracker,
and then the meat was like.
You know what happens to meat? You know what happens to meat when it sits out too long? It sweats.
Greasy.
Well, and here's the other problem with those boards and that. So you have your drink in one hand. I have a beer in one hand. Everybody basically has a drink because so you have one hand left. And everything goes on a plate. So you have to get the tongs.
And the plates are always about this, about the size of a fist.
And the tongs aren't very good tongs. It was hard to pick stuff. All I wanted to do was put my freaking hand in there.
I thought you were going to do that.
I grabbed
at
4
one
pieces
point.
of cheese, a slice of meat,
He's made it onto the
and
sign.
some crackers. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to have to stay. Plus, other people waiting, and I feel awkward trying to get them in. And then, so if you get your, you have your drink in one hand and your plate in, how are you supposed to eat it? Because there was nowhere to sit the plate down and eat. There was everybody was standing. So I couldn't figure out, put the beer in like this and go like that, or I'd say, could you hold this while I eat my cheese? It's just, to me, it's an awkward.
It puts you in a bad spot.
It's an awkward situation
with a lot of people too. It's rough because everybody's trying to get finger foods, everybody's trying to get a drink, and I felt really awkward because I was hungry. I was really hungry, so I was getting my helping of cheese and crackers, but the tongs were not the most.
No, they weren't very
efficient.
good.
They weren't the most
very good.
efficient. And I was dropping cheese on the floor.
People were.
But then at some point, I don't think anybody cared.
But I tell you what hit a home run with me was when those ladies and the guys started bringing the plates of they had a chicken quesadilla, then they had
butterfly shrimp,
and you could just pick it right off of there and boom.
Yeah.
So I got my beer in one hand.
You really enjoyed.
All I was doing was looking for the scope and those people out of bringing those warm.
Yeah, but then I brought you the crab cake and you didn't like the crab cake.
I didn't like that sauce on there. It was too something.
Every single time he would take a finger food from a guy that was or a lady that was giving the plate around, offering food. He would eat it and then he would go, "Did you make these?"
Every time I get, I didn't.
And then one girl had her buttons messed up on her shirt, and then he kept calling it a blouse, which I don't remember the last time I've heard the word blouse be used.
But it wasn't her buttons.
They were aligned wrong?
No, they were one off. And
but it was too high.
It
was way high.
He kept going, look at her buttons.
It
Look at
was
her blouse.
so obvious, and she's going up to everybody, and I'm just looking at how did somebody not say to her?
And it wasn't like it was a middle button. It was the top one, and it was
wasn't-
way up. Like it was way
Right, it wasn't
up.
off by
like
a
her
little
collar.
bit.
Like one part of her collar was here, and then the other one was down here. Like it was way
So the second
way off.
button,
The second
first button went in like the second button.
Right,
Yes, yes,
and
yeah.
all the way down. Then they were all buttoned, but they.
Yes.
So then the bottom was that far off
Bottom
too.
was off.
All right, talking about that kind of stuff. When you're a bartender at a wedding, the drinks are pretty standard. Like you're gonna do your vodka Sprite, your cranberry cranberry vodka. They're not too extravagant. Sprite and vodka, whatever it might be. What do you think is let me think of my word here. A substantial enough tip for one of those bartenders.
I was gonna bring this up
because I feel like they make a lot. I mean, I looked at that jar at the end of that night, and the girl had just $5 bills to the brim.
I put
on her.
$1 in every time I go.
But
to me, if you get a beer, I'd say $1 to $0 is enough.
Because I had
The
this.
fuck she's pulling it out of the thing and
There was
open
another
it.
situation where
I
somebody
agree
was
with you.
asking
we
for tips
had talked
too.
about this on the show before.
Oh, it was every time I order takeout somewhere because they're the new electronic things where you put your card in and then it taps and it comes up with the percentage of tips. But I mean, that tip, where is that tip going if it's just in the kitchen and the cook is making the food? If it's going to the lady that's selling me the food, she doesn't deserve anything because she didn't do anything. But like what he said, he got a beer and like she's got a Venmo thing there on the scanner for how much to tip, and she was talking to us about how you can tip. All she did was open the beer. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not exactly like.
And her whole evening's pay isn't just based on tips.
No.
You're paying her. That's just additional.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just didn't think it was. If you're making some kind of like a Moscow Mule takes a little bit more. You got to get all that. You got to make the drink. But if I go up and order a beer or I order a Jack and Coke, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily worth a $5 bill.
Well, and I first noticed this. Maybe not first, but it's one example was like I'll order pizza down here,
Yeah.
down the street. And I pick it up, but then on the receipt, there's a for tip. Well,
Yeah.
wait a minute. I came to get it.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
picking it up.
That's the same. When we get takeout, I don't understand that. It
It
makes
makes you feel,
anything.
It makes you feel awkward, especially at a restaurant that you're picking it up from, or even if it's like one of those where you go up to the window and then you order and then you come back and get it. It'll have the tip thing, and the lady's standing right there. It feels weird to press 0%.
I also don't understand Uber drivers either. Uber drivers are you're getting
Yeah, I
paid
don't
by
understand
Uber
that
already.
either.
I mean, you didn't like go 100 miles over the speed limit to get me where I need to go. So I don't understand why it's necessary that I pay you 20%
Right.
of
Or that driver somehow avoided a major crash
Yeah.
and got us.
his car can fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of that Uber's the craziest thing. After the wedding we were talking about, we went out downtown in Pittsburgh, and I was looking for an Uber home. It was like, all I'm going to do is go home. I was absolutely done. We went to like 3 different places, and I was already hammered out of my mind. I just wanted to go home. I looked at Uber. It was like probably, I don't know, maybe it was like 2:30 in the morning. I looked at Uber. It was like $55 for a 12-minute Uber home. So I'm like, I'm going to wait and see if this goes down. I'm like, I'm not ordering this. So we went to another place, and I waited like another hour. It was like 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, I have to, good Lord, get home. I looked, $14 Uber. I was so happy.
Wow.
It was like, it wasn't even that long. But between like the hours of 2:30 and 3:30, I guess are pretty popular. And
So that's why the rate was so high.
yeah, well, it was crazy high. And then it went down to 14.
That's
I was
why
so
I
happy.
never, ever, ever go anywhere with anybody, and I can't control my own destiny because of things like that. When you want to go home and you're stuck and you got to wait on someone or you got to spend money to get home, it's just, I won't do it. I can't. Guys will say, "Hey, you want me to pick you up and go to lunch?" Or,
Yeah.
No, I'll meet you there.
I don't like
That's
being
what
that.
Nick always wants to drive me somewhere, but number one, I don't want to leave early if I don't want to leave early. Number two, I don't want to leave late if I want to leave early. So there's two different versions of what I want to do. And also, if I need to go do something, if I want to go get a drink or then I'm stuck doing what I need to do. And Nick always gets mad because I don't want to ride with him.
Chris,
anywhere.
you always drive anywhere by yourself. You don't ever.
Yeah.
You don't ever have
I
anybody
feel
pick you
I
up
feel
or
the
you
same
pick.
way. Now, unless we're going on like a road trip
Yeah.
or the last time I was picked up,
Like-
I think
like-
I went to 2 years ago down to the West Virginia game, and I got it. Paul and Jim picked
Like
me up.
Tom always wants to pick me up for bocce and go to eat, and I don't want to be like, if he wants to stay and have a couple beers, but I don't want to have to stay because
I
he
hate
wants to
that.
stay.
I hate it.
I'll meet you there, and I'll meet you for dinner. I'll meet you for bocce, whatever. But I want to be in control of my own destiny. I don't want to have to rely on you.
And even if it's only an extra 30 minutes, you want to get the hell home.
And I'm not sure whether he wants to pick me up for the conversation from there to the place we're eating, or that he wants me to save on gas or what. But I don't know. It's nice of him to do that, but it's not something I do.
Chris, have you ever gone out with a group or something or whatever? It might not be your usual, and as soon as you either get there or you go out or something, you realize that you shouldn't have. You should have just stayed home, or this was a mistake.
Well, yeah, or throughout the evening, you're like, gee, I didn't really even want to do this, and I did. And
Yeah.
like, boy, I sure wish I was home. It's like, it was billed as a good time, but it fell way short of expectations.
I don't think there's anything wrong with staying home on a day where you just want to do nothing. I think there is nothing wrong with that.
Well, you like that. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's the greatest thing ever. I think being able to stay home all day, eat at home, nobody bothers you, and then you maybe just do whatever you want to do. I think that's one of my favorite things to do. It's because now, I mean, Monday through Friday, we do stuff on the radio where I'm down here. Then Saturday's normally the Pine Room if we're not having an event. Then Sunday is really the only day that, because you either go to the club or whatever. Sunday's really the only day, and that's one of my favorite days. Is just to
I think
sit
Sunday might be my favorite week of the day.
It used to be my
Or
most
week of the
dreaded.
day. Day of the week.
Sunday used to be my most dreaded because I hated going,
You had to
thinking
go to
school and it was the next day or getting ready. I got to get up and go back to school. But now, Sunday when I wake up and I got nothing to do and I can sit home and not watch football and
Yeah, and I'm the same way now that my schedule's totally different. Is having Monday off, so Sunday's more of a Sunday fun day,
And then Mondays-
and then I got Tuesday, so it works out nice. But yeah, and I can't really think off the top of my head, but there's times, even if you're sometimes with your friends when come on, we're gonna go have some fun, and then you go even though you're kind of reluctant, but whatever.
and then you're there. And you
But how
just-
many times though does the opposite
the other way
happen?
around, yeah.
I mean, Mark and I we've talked about that. Some of the greatest times we ever had were unplanned.
Oh, yeah.
That was the family parties. I think some of the best family parties or group gatherings we ever had were just because we did. It was a spur of the moment. But I
Yes,
agree.
that's
I
it,
would
the
say
spur of the moment.
I'd say 90% of the time things that don't seem like they're going to be fun end up being fun, especially if it's with people you like to be around.
And then if you get too hyped for something and think it's going to be incredibly fun,
Yes.
like you did it before, then you do it again, and it can't reach that level. Whereas if you just spur of the moment, you're not even expecting what to happen, and it turns into it's just an unbelievable time. That happens more often than not.
Oh yeah, and you can't duplicate the fun
No.
that you had the first time,
No.
and then well, it's just like shit. What I was gonna say? Never mind. It's slipped my mind. But
Yeah. All right. I
Yeah,
asked this. We got a couple minutes left here. I asked this in the last podcast or two podcasts ago, and Aunt Kim was very fond of this question, and I wanted to ask you guys this. It was a would you rather, and
Oh, Jesus.
not the horrific one, not the really bad one, but I want to know your guys' answer to the original one. And the original one was. You find a significant other that they're just the 10 out of 10. You couldn't think of anybody better to find that as far as looks, personality.
Like your mother found in me.
Yes, and
Okay.
you're a fantastic individual, and you just can't get over.
He said
Mama
yes.
like that one.
He said yes.
And and this person is just beyond anything you could possibly imagine. But
Again,
later
describe it.
down the line, you find out that every time that she sweats, and the sweat comes out thick like mayonnaise, and it smells like spoiled milk. That's number one. Or number two, every time that she laughs. So every time she laughs in any given situation, even if it's just a giggle, she ends the laugh with a like a heinous burp, and it's a loud burp that always that always smells.
I think I'd rather have the burp.
I thought this wasn't going to be disgusting.
Well, it's not as disgusting as the other one.
I think I'd rather have the burp than watching somebody sweat like a man.
I think I said burp.
See, I don't know.
no, I'll take the burp
Yeah,
because
because I
you're being you live with a guy, he burps all the time.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, you're out with a girl and you're at dinner and somebody cracks a joke and she laughs and then she just burps unbelievably.
you gotta get a. I want you to get AI and do somebody laughing and a burp and see what that would
I'll put it
that
in
would
post
be good.
after this.
Sound
Yeah.
like.
I'll put
Oh,
it.
you got plenty of
like,
So
how-
you'd rather take the
Well,
the white sweat.
I was really.
But it isn't white,
No,
is it?
see, it's. Yeah, it comes out like creamy.
Oh no, forget it. That's
That's not even.
But think about it though.
No.
You imagine every time that you laugh, and I would like to say that our group is a funny group, and if you were going to go out with your friends, a lot of the time there are a lot of laughs that are shared, even if it's just a giggle. And she
But
ends
every
it-
time?
Every time, it's a horrific burp.
I don't think anybody would want her around.
And imagine you're at a nice dinner, like a gala, and somebody cracks a little joke, and
She's in a beautiful evening gown.
she just ends it with just.
No.
But then the other end of that is though, if if she runs hot and she sleeps and she wakes up. And,
Oh God!
You got to change your sheets every night.
That's gross to think about.
It is
God.
gross.
So which one would you take? The
I'd
burp?
take the 100% the burp.
Yeah,
No
you
doubt.
got to take the burp. I think
Good God! That's
he came up with that, by the way. Cooley texted him
that's-
at 1:30.
He
That's
texted me
blowing.
at 1:30 in the morning.
Brilliant.
All right, and then one day I thought about on the radio because we were talking about the bearded lady. It's like let's say you find this girl in January, and in January for the next 6 months, you guys fantastic. You know it's great, everything's good. But at the end of that 6 months, she confesses you that 6 months out of the year she performs as the bearded lady, and she grows a beard out like a thick workman's beard, a lumberjack.
Does she make money doing it?
Yeah, she more does it as a hobby. She really enjoys it.
Oh, she enjoys
She
it.
really enjoys it. Yeah,
Oh.
more does it as a hobby. So that was number one, and I was trying to think of another one, and I couldn't really think of another one. But if I can think of something to spur of the moment, I'd say that if again, I always like to do it a scenario where you find it's your significant other because those are always hard.
Yeah.
But I'd say probably something along the lines of the girl the girl I can't think of anything off the spur of the moment, but somebody's on the hot seat. Then anyway, out of those three, I'd take the girl that is, I don't know, maybe not.
Nah, it's still taking the burp.
What would
No,
you?
that's
That's
definitely-
embarrassing.
Probably a bearded lady.
What about in December when she's grown it all out? You want to go to the Christmas party?
Yeah,
And
no,
she's
got to
got a-
be burp.
She's got a full beard.
Got to be burp because at least there could be a little bit of comedy in that.
Oh, I also I asked Nick this last night. I said, would you rather have a permanent like a third degree chafe, like when it's real bad at the beach, like a chafe in your crotch, like a bad chafe, diaper rash type chafe, 24/7, 365, or an ulcer in your lip, like a real bad ulcer, like right on your incisor, and it's real bad every time you eat, you
Those
nick
are
it,
tough.
you bite on it.
That-
I'd take the ulcer.
Those are tough.
I'd
would
take
al-
ulcer.
Ugh.
I don't know. Those
I-
those are both.
You're giving choices
bad.
there that are like both just awful.
Yeah, that's the
and
point.
The ladies
I
are
would
awful.
take-
And
I
the
would-
boy-
Chafe or cold sores.
Chafer,
Yeah.
not a cold, not a
ulcer.
cold sore.
That
an
thing you get
ulcer. You ever
inside.
have those on
Oh.
the inside?
Inside your lip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd take ulcer.
I don't know. I think a cold sore or the chafing, because at least you could sit down at dinner or sit down and it wouldn't really bother you too much. Because if you try to eat at dinner,
But you're just if you have like third degree baby diaper rash, you're miserable.
That's,
You literally can't even
Ew.
live. You can't move.
Ew.
Baby diaper. You're
Well-
like walking like.
yeah.
then you'd have to be in a wheelchair.
Well,
you'd be in a wheelchair.
What would you rather have? The
I don't want to be in a wheelchair.
the what'd you call it?
Ulcer.
The-
Yeah, I would rather take the
or
ulcer.
a cold sore.
Oh, jeez.
Oh God, cold sore.
Oh, you guys haven't had
if,
cold
if it was a
sores.
cold sore, then I'd if
Chris
it was
and I-
rather cold sore than ulcer, then I'd probably take the baby because I couldn't live with a cold sore on my lip.
I
my whole
hope
life.
to God. I hope
You guys
to God
gotta
I
hope you never get them. Because
Well, you always says you always say that when you get those, you feel like people look at you like you're the
yeah, like you'll have leprosy.
There's
Me,
a
Chris, and-
cream. There's a cream. If you feel it coming on,
Nah.
it'll kill it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
show me where. We've tried
I
it.
forget
all.
and-
what it's called.
But it's an expensive tube of cream too.
I forget what
Yeah,
it's
but it
called.
doesn't-
yeah, and isn't it like in a super glue
It
size?
isn't,
Yeah,
it isn't going to kill it. It's not going to kill it. It's going to
you say
maybe cut the time down a day or two, but it's
You-
you got to go through it.
When you sent that picture, it was I don't know, like last month. Was Stubby had those two cold sores, and you said it was getting to the crack and bleed stage.
Ugh. So Stubby and Chris and I could sit down and talk about cold sores.
I wonder why that is. Why that happens.
It's something-
so weird.
It's something in your what's it called in your
DNA.
No, in your defense mechanism when
Your
you're-
immune system.
Yeah, your immune system that can't fight off because it's herpes. But you don't get herpes like down below. You get it just on your.
And
And you
that's
can
just-
feel them coming,
Yes.
and you know that it's going to be awful.
Yeah.
But and man, when you feel it coming and you know it's going to be a monster, you know you got at least 2 solid weeks of misery, and there's stages to them. There's the embryo, and it just when it just starts growing, and then it gets to the stage where it just blows up and it's just takes over your face.
And you hate it because everybody's looking at it.
Oh, and there's no way to hide it because you can't talk, and then it's the cracking, bleeding stage where it just everything you do it cracks, and then you touch it and there's blood, and it's on your pillow. And
I'm making my lips.
God, just hope you guys don't get them because we've.
And the one thing that invariably happens at least once, more, like if just say if it's right on my bottom lip, right in the middle
I know
of
what
it.
you're gonna say.
Just somehow I'll take my right, and I want to go to scratch my left ear, and my fingernail clips the cold sore.
Well, if that would have happened just with nothing there, you wouldn't even realize you did it.
Right.
But then when that's there,
and
it's
you
like
just go like that, and it's like you could bring you to tears. They're awful.
They're making my lips.
They're the worst.
They're
and then last thing, and then we'll end this because we're gonna run too long here. Because you guys were talking about it, I want to. Speaking of things that are awful, Neal Brown. That's what I was looking. Something came on my phone about him on the hot seat. But I heard you guys talking about it, and I heard Matt's take, your guys' take, and now this group's down there that I think are morons.
The Wolfpack.
Yeah, the Wolfpack. But I'm more with Chris. I'm thinking, what are they going to do right now? Get rid of the guy? I'm actually sick of hearing about it, to be honest with you. I'm tired of hearing about it. They're struggling. They're obviously not going to have a great season now with these injuries, piling up. They got to go to Arizona. I don't think there's any way they're going to beat Arizona now with the mess they have just everywhere. But my thing is, what? And I heard you guys talking about Saban, whatever. And then I've heard Jimbo Fisher. I mean, what's he get? He couldn't win at Texas A&M and had zillions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And this is my thing: is it Neal Brown? The guys don't like the players don't like Neal Brown. Does he not have good enough players, or do the player? Is there trouble in the locker room? Does he not get the best out of the players? Is he not a good game coach? What are the people just say fire him? Just what is he? What is the what's the root of the problem? Do the players not like him? What is the?
I'd say probably a mixture of everything, but I don't know. I really don't know.
All I've ever heard of anybody that even talks about it that won him fired, they say he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm. So I know his record, and you somebody was Jarrett. You were reading off his stats, and those they aren't good. Obviously, they're not good. They're But you mentioned he was 9-4 last year. They won a bowl game, and what they finished second in the conference or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean and actually they say he saved his job last year by reeling off like 5 straight at the end of the year. So who knows if they could do that again? Maybe, I don't know. But this just fire him, and then you guys said who are they going to get? Right. Who are you going to get to come to coach West Virginia that is going to take you to national level with the Texas, Georgias, all the other Ohio States, Oregons? They're just not going to happen.
Right. So the guy that they're going to get, the so-called the replacement, whoever that might be, so he's going to check every box that Neal Brown doesn't have checked, right? Whether it's he's a better motivator, better X's and O's guy,
right,
better recruiter. So this guy's going to be the total
magically
package.
Turn him into a 9-2 team, right, and win a.
And Chris, then what happens when he comes in there? They get a new guy, and the same thing happens, and he loses. He loses the majority of the games, and he's terrible.
Look at Notre Dame. They had the heavy guy. What was his name?
Charlie Weiss.
Charlie Weiss. So then they bring in Tyrone Willingham. He was the savior. They were ready to run him out of town after 2 years.
Well, but before that, though, Mark, was Bob Davie.
Oh, Bob Davie.
Bob Davie wasn't a bad coach.
Wasn't a bad coach. Then Willingham comes in, and he starts out decent, but then they hit rocky time, so they want to run him out of town. I heard earlier, Notre Dame people out there lost Northern Illinois. They want to run him out of town. Mm-hmm. They want to run him out of town, and guess who they all wanted to get? Urban Meyer.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't matter what school you're at. Our two schools have already fired their coach. South Alabama and somebody else fired their coach. So it's just, and what are you going to go get a retread to come in? Or can you imagine Jimbo Fisher coming to West Virginia? He couldn't win at A&M.
No. No,
Nick Saban really, and could Nick Saban even win at West Virginia?
I mean, you've coached forever. Fortunately, we had those 3 titles in a row in the Legion, but at Wheeling Park, when you coach, you're only as good as the fucking players that you got. If you could be the smartest coach, the best motivator, but if you don't have enough guys that with talent, it doesn't matter how good
you
are.
Need talent. There's no doubt about it. But you also have to have team chemistry, and that's what I keep preaching. That is missing with a lot of these coaches. They just don't. They're not good player coaches. They don't get along with their players well enough and have a good camaraderie with their players. But I just don't get this. I'm tired of hearing about it. Neal Brown got to go. Maybe he isn't the right guy for the job, but they may need a new thing. But okay, we get it. It's not. Let it go. Like you said, I listened to the. Let the administration take care of that. It's up to them. It's not a group of idiots out running around getting signatures and money that are going to get him let go. And the guy, I feel bad for Neal Brown. And I heard Cool say, he busted you, said, why do you feel bad for coaches that should get fired? It's like, they're still people.
A human
They're human beings.
And still a guy. He's got kids.
And he hasn't broken the law. He's not a thug. He's not. He's trying to direct guys in the right way. He's probably gets them to class, tries to get them to graduate, tries to do the right thing. They're just not as good as other teams. Maybe he isn't the right coach for the job. Maybe Troy was the best for him. Maybe it'd be good OC or DC for somebody or something. But why crucify him like this?
That's what I
don't get it.
I always say, Chris, and I think this is, and you and I agree. What if the players just stink? What if they just stink? And what? It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter who he has or what or whoever's in there. They just stink.
And Garrett Green made some stupid decisions on the field. He made some bad throws that aren't Neal Brown's fault.
Right.
Their defense is not very good. Their secondary was terrible at the beginning of the year. And they're going to say, well, that's the guys he recruited. Well, they were pretty – some of them were 4- and 5-star players, so they just aren't producing. So maybe some of it is his fault, but not everything that's happening down there is Neal Brown's fault.
I think it is a spoiled brat mentality where it doesn't work, so let's blame him and get somebody else in there because we want to change, we want something new. Then the new guy will come in and he won't do any good. It's like the Steelers. It's like the fans of the Steelers, how they didn't want Fields to come out, and then Wilson goes in, he does great. Now they don't want to see Fields anymore. They like
dumb.
Wilson now.
Just dumb.
I think a lot. Sorry, Chris. I think a lot of people didn't like, which I think that, again, I said this on the radio, put the nail in the coffin with Neal Brown, was the comments about his winning everything.
They totally took that out of context.
Yes.
I listened to Hoppy Kercheval the other day, and Hoppy is straightforward and shoots it straight as anybody. He said people took that out of context. He did not mean we don't care if we win as long as you're having fun. And Neal, I listened to his post-game show. He said, I said the wrong thing. He said, I should have said it much different than I did. Wasn't my best moment.
But people don't care about that.
No, and everybody just twisted it to say, oh, we don't care if we win as long as everybody has. That's not what he meant. He didn't mean that. He meant, we present a what word am I looking for? A product that we want you to come and have fun. We want you to enjoy the tailgating. We want you to enjoy the game. We are hoping to win. We want to win, but we want you to go away and say, boy, that was a fun day. I enjoyed that. Did he mean, oh, we don't care if we win or lose? No, he didn't mean that. They just twisted that.
But Mark, and not only that, I agree 100%. But for fans to think that that's what he actually meant.
Right. You got to be an idiot. You got to be a freaking idiot.
Right. I mean, he's been there, what's his 5th or 6th year? I mean, the guy works his ass off. Sure, he cared. Well, how could they think that he meant that we don't care if we win?
Right. As long as you're getting drunk, if we go 0-11, have fun. We'll just keep. Just as long as you get 3 hours to come and watch us screw up and be terrible, who cares as long as you're getting drunk and having fun? I mean, he didn't mean that. No. It was so taken out of context. I mean, I don't know. And believe me, I I'm not a huge Neal Brown fan. I don't like his press conferences. I think he makes a lot of excuses, but I still like the guy, and I think he's trying his best with what he has, and it's tough. Nobody's coming in like Matt and you guys said with this NIL stuff and the transfer portal. West Virginia's never going to be relevant to the national scene. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't care who they get.
Probably the best they can do is win their conference and win a decent bowl game.
About once every 10 years, maybe be relevant in a conference. But if they go 9-4 and win a bowl game, people should be ecstatic in this state.
But if they are, and you're right, it may be a change probably is necessary.
It probably is.
But these fans, though, and I get the frustration, but, we just see like at the Vets Club, people go down there, gather, hey, let's get together, we're going to go watch them out near game. But if you have back-to-back nights or back-to-back weeks when they get their asses blown out at home, that's probably maybe signifies.
And you have to look.
You
have to look at four of their losses. Penn State's undefeated. Pitt's undefeated. Iowa State will make a run at the conference title, and Kansas State is going to make a run at the conference. But 4 really, really, really good teams, and so I'm not saying, now if they lose to Cincinnati, UCF, and Baylor, but those teams aren't horrible. Then if they go 3-8 or something, then it's not good.
Well, the loss to Pitt was bad.
Yeah, that
really
game was
bad.
that game was sealed.
It
It was over.
It was. That
was kind of the that started it.
They should have won that game, but
That one hurt.
But Job, I agree with the what'd you say, like the big baby or the spoiled
brat.
It's like, well, hey, we're a bunch of rich alumni. I'm gonna call Jimmy. We got to get a movement.
I love that. Is there one guy spearheading this?
I don't know. It's called a wolf pack. It's like it's just. And somebody made a good point. It was like imagine his kids going into school the next day.
Terrible.
People don't take into account that these people are actually real life individuals, especially to college level. These people are just normal human beings. He's not making millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, he might be making a good salary. He's making
$4 million.
Well, I mean, all right. Well, then he makes money. But I mean, he's at least a normal human being amongst a populace of normal human beings. He's not out partying with rich billionaires. At least I don't think he is. But I mean, he's just a normal guy, and to crucify him for whatever, and then I don't know.
Yeah, but they love Huggins, though. He can get as fucked up as he wants.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point.
Well, because Huggins won.
Well,
there you go.
For the most part.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
You could be a drunken win, or you could be a stand-up guy and be mediocre, and they're gonna take the drunk guy who wins.
It was a good run where at one point they were number 1 overall. At one point,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but just for those guys to put that much time and effort and want to raise money to get a coach fired, and you mentioned about his kids in school, because kids are mean, kids are stupid, they're immature. Probably they saying shit to his kids at school, and I'm not saying that happened, but I'm sure it does. Like, well, your dad, I hope he gets fired. I mean, his kids are, I don't even know how old they are, but Neal Brown's not a real old guy, so they're probably in, I don't know, elementary school or middle school. But, like, for a kid to have to endure that.
Just so you can have a good 2 hours on a Saturday.
Yeah. Go fight, win.
Hey,
Hooray.
I just want to see our teams win.
Well, more 4 hours job.
Hey, it used to be 2.
Games are 4 hours at least now.
Disgusting.
So anyway, I'm glad we got that.
All right, well, we got to roll here, and maybe you'll fire all of us, and we'll have a new.
Do we have any buyout clauses if we get fired?
Know. I don't think so. I don't think that's in our.
I don't think I got one on my contract.
Big
Ted DiBiase.
Big bag of pistachios,
Yes.
Job.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to episode 103 of the Pioneer Podcast. Check out all the things we've done. Listen to us live on the Watchdog Radio Network. And until next time, we'll see you right here in the Pine Room.